Mountain News Weekend Edition.
Good morning, I'm Katie Cook. Today is Saturday, June the 20th. Well, one woman is dead and another man is in custody after an overnight shooting in Knott County Thursday. WYMT's Connor James talked with troopers about what happened as they are still in the early stages of investigation.
Late Thursday night, officials with Kentucky State Police showed up on scene here along Lots Creek Road, just a little outside of the Sassafras community.
When troopers arrived on the scene around 11:40, they advised that a short time later they heard gunfire that appeared to be coming from inside a residence where they were called to.
That gunfire happened not long after those troopers got to the scene. Trooper Jody Sims with Kentucky State Police says when that sort of thing happens, their focus has to be widespread.
Their initial concern is for the safety of those in the public, then themselves, and then those possibly involved in some type of situation.
Inside the home where the shots were fired, troopers found a woman dead. Their investigation on scene lasted well into the daytime Friday morning.
They can, once details arise and are made available, then those will be released.
And that investigation is still ongoing. In Knott County, Connor James, WYMT Mountain News.
Troopers were questioning the man in custody when we last talked to them early on Friday. And police in Middlesboro are asking people in Bell County to be on the lookout for the man accused of shooting 2 people on Friday. Officers say this man, Tommy Ellison, shot a man early yesterday morning, and later they responded to another shooting at Rennie Gale Homes around noon Friday. There they found another victim who identified the shooter as Ellison. The picture you see here is an old mugshot of Ellison. He is still on the run and considered armed and dangerous. If you see him, call 911. A fight led to a stabbing in Knox County Wednesday night. It happened near Kentucky 11, and deputies tell us the woman was cut in 6 places and stabbed in the chest. She was flown to UK Hospital and is currently in the ICU. Deputies do have a suspect in the stabbing, and they expect an arrest soon. The Pikeville Police Department is working with other agencies to find a man who has been missing for more than a week. Wesley Hook left his home in Pikeville driving a white 2008 Chevy Impala to get snacks after swimming with some friends. He has not been seen since. That was on June 10th, and his family is now asking for the community's help to find him. Pikeville Police Officer Tony Kahn says he has known the family for years and hopes to find Wesley soon.
This is absolutely not like Wesley to disappear like this, or not at least contact his family, especially his mother, and which it has us very worried about him.
Kahn says the white Impala has Kentucky tags. The plate number is 893ZNB. If you have any information about Hook's whereabouts, you can contact the Pikeville Police Department. Now let's check in with meteorologist Brooke Marshall for a look at your forecast this morning. Good morning, Brooke. Do we get to see the sunshine return today?
We are going to get to see some sun today, Katie, but it's going to be probably more towards those morning hours, and then we're going to see some more rain chances later this afternoon. But if you take a look behind me at our camera, we aren't seeing too bad of conditions into downtown Whitesburg this morning, but we do have some things we need to look out for. One, you can already start to see some of those raindrops still on the camera lens from those showers that they saw last night. Not raining there anymore, but the streets definitely still a little bit slick out there. You can also see a little bit of fog up on top of the mountain. So just a few conditions you need to look out for if you are headed out early this morning, but overall not too bad. Temperature is probably very comfortable, maybe a little chilly for some. Most of us in those lower to mid 60s this morning, so I think that's pretty nice and cool. We are going to warm up though as we go throughout the day. We're going to get even warmer than we were yesterday. Temperatures going to be getting into those mid 80s for daytime highs today, so definitely going to want to get out and enjoy the nice weather. Katie?
All right, thank you, Brooke. Kentucky's primary election is on Tuesday, and the race for the U.S. Senate looks a lot different now than it did at the start. The campaign has gotten a lot of attention, with Majority Leader Mitch McConnell seeking a 7th term in office. Last night, Garrett Weimer looked at the Democratic candidates hoping to challenge McConnell in the fall.
A campaign upended by COVID forced candidates to trade face-to-face time for just FaceTime, virtual interviews and events, plus TV ads and social media.
It turned this campaign upside down and has changed things and led to a whole different dynamic.
10 candidates are on the ballot, but only 3 are actively campaigning. They've adapted in a world changed by a virus and by recent events exposing racial injustice.
From the very beginning, the campaign motto was economic and social justice for all. And what was a call for economic and social justice, back in July, I think has stopped being a call, and I think it's now a demand.
Mike Breuer has made some waves. He was endorsed by Andrew Yang, but he's been overshadowed by Charles Booker and Amy McGrath.
We need to get rid of Senator Mitch McConnell.
McGrath has gotten back on the trail in the closing days of the campaign. According to the pre-primary finance report through June 3rd, she's outraised even Senator McConnell, raking in $41 million in the campaign.
People are so tired of the partisanship. I'm somebody that in my core wants to get things done, wants to move us in the right direction when it comes to things like healthcare, when it comes to things like good quality jobs and infrastructure, and of course, working towards the social justice in issues that we all care about and that really Kentuckians are demanding right now.
But momentum is building for Charles Booker. The state representative is in the middle of a statewide tour leading up to Election Day. His voice in the race has grown as he joined protests, rallies, and marches in his hometown of Louisville, particularly in the outcry over the death of Breonna Taylor.
He's standing on the front lines is natural to me. I want to stand with my family, and the people of Kentucky are my family. And my campaign is all about the structural changes that would make sure that we're safe in our homes, we're safe in our streets, we have thriving communities. And so leadership is really about how you show up in the moments when you need it most. And Kentucky was crying out, and I stood with them, and the momentum is showing that they're standing with me now as well.
Booker has landed big endorsements, including from Senators Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren. A recent poll shows Booker surging and won, even with a lead over McGrath.
She has piled up money to run this election against Mitch McConnell. Now she's had to turn her attention back to the primary and hope that she can survive this push from Booker.
Turnout for the primary is expected to be historically high. Secretary of State Michael Adams says nearly 890,000 voters requested an absentee ballot. In 2016, less than 670,000 people voted. Now, we don't know what that will mean for the outcome, and with a lot of ballots being mailed in, we likely won't even know on election night. Garrett Weimer, WKYT.
And don't forget, Election Day is this Tuesday. The United States coronavirus death toll topped 119,000 yesterday, and Kentucky had 258 new cases of COVID-19 yesterday. The state's total is now at 13,454 cases. At least 522 Kentuckians have died from the virus, and that's up 2 since Thursday. But more than 3,500 have fully recovered. For the 4th day in a row, Friday, hundreds of people waited in Frankfort hoping to get their unemployment claims resolved. Back in 2017, the unemployment office closed in Harlan County, leaving at least 400 coal miners without help. Now, more than 2,000 people in Harlan County are needing help with unemployment during the COVID-19 pandemic. Harlan County Judge Executive Dan Mosley sent a letter to Governor Beshear last month asking him to help people file those claims. And Mosley said he presented a solution to the governor, but has not heard back in almost a month.
The state had committed to hiring 1,200 people to assist with this process. I don't know where they're at on that, but I mailed an emailed a letter to the governor's staff a month ago. I think it was actually a month ago today, offering a solution locally because we helped so many during the Black Jewel crisis. We could use this very courtroom, set up appointments for UI staff.
Mosley said they are prepared with personal protective equipment such as gloves, face masks, and shields, even offering hand sanitizer to the unemployment insurance staff. When the coronavirus pandemic really started to wreak havoc on daily American life, schools were some of the first places to close. Now organizations are working to make sure Eastern Kentucky children are not at a disadvantage because of it. WYMT's Will Puckett has more.
Normally a line like this one
is associated with food.
Bags of soap, toothpaste, toothbrushes, washcloths, some of the essential items, as well as books for children.
Alyssa Taylor is the state director of Kentucky programs for Save the Children. Friday, she and a handful of others were out in Manchester hoping to help kids and their families.
As summer 2020 shapes up to be the longest of some of these children's lives, Save the Children wants to ensure that they have the educational materials to continue learning at home and to stay safe.
COVID-19 is impacting the way Save the Children does business, forcing a summer of what would be in-person teaching to online in these drive-through giveaways.
Normally we have in-person summer programs, and this year we're doing distributions of packets and also delivering on buses through meal deliveries. And we're going to have some virtual activities as well for those students that have internet access, but it won't be limited to children that do have internet access.
While kids need nutrition, they also need brain food, a goal of Save the Children that they take to some 70 Eastern Kentucky schools throughout the year.
And we want to make sure that they are ready to go back to school when it does start, and they continue learning and stay engaged with their families and their educators throughout the school closures and the pandemic.
A small change in delivery, but the same message preached. In Manchester, Will Puckett, WYMT Mountain News.
Save the Children has been working in Eastern Kentucky since 1932, starting in Harlan County with their hot meal program. Coming up on Mountain News this morning, many families have been separated due to COVID-19, but one facility in Harlan is hoping to change that with a little help.
And today is looking pretty nice, but we won't be getting rid of those rain chances completely. I'll have your full forecast coming up.